Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to decipher corporate jargon and financial mumbo jumbo so you don't have to. Today, we're diving into a report from Delek US Holdings, and let me tell you, it involves a buyback plan that might just be a clever financial shuffle. Alright, so on February 24, 2025, Delek US Holdings filed this report. At first glance, it seems like routine paperwork, but stick with me because there's some interesting stuff here. The big news. A plan for Delek Logistics Partners, which is connected to Delek US Holdings, to buy back its own shares or units as they call them. Delek Logistics Partners, think of it as a sister company, is going to buy back up to $150 million of its own units from Delek US Holdings. This buyback can happen at any point until the end of 2026. So what does this mean? Basically, Delek US Holdings is selling a chunk of its ownership in Delek Logistics back to Delek Logistics itself. The price they pay for each unit will be based on the average price over the 30 days before they make the purchase. Now, where's Delek Logistics going to get the money for all this? They're planning to use cash they have on hand or borrow money using their existing credit lines. But there's a catch. They have to make sure they're following all the rules of those credit lines. To make sure everything is above board, this deal had to be approved by a few different groups. First, the board of directors of Delek Logistics General Partner, which is Delek Logistics GP, LLC, had to say yes. Then, a special committee of independent directors also gave it the thumbs up. The Independent Audit Committee of Delek US Holdings also had to approve the buyback. This committee even hired its own lawyers to help them understand the deal and make sure it was fair. Both Delek US Holdings and Delek Logistics had to make promises called representations and warranties in the agreement. These are basically assurances that they're who they say they are, they have the right to make this deal, and they've gotten all the necessary approvals. Here's where things get a little more interesting. Delek Logistics is managed by a general partner that's completely owned by Delek US Holdings and its related companies. This means that people who work for Delek US Holdings might also be running things at Delek Logistics. Also, Delek US Holdings already owns a big chunk, about 63.6% of Delek Logistics units. So this buyback is essentially moving money and ownership around within the same family. Moving on, the report also mentions something important: financial results. Delek US Holdings announced how well it did in the last 3 months of 2024. Let's dig into those numbers a bit. The full details were included in a press release. That press release isn't directly in this report. I can't pull the numbers here. It's a shame because the financials would have been interesting. They also mentioned some materials included in Exhibit 99.2. These materials are related to the call where the company discussed their results for the fourth quarter, a call which you can find a replay of on their website. Now for my take, Delek US Holdings is playing a financial game here. The buyback plan for Delek Logistics isn't necessarily bad, but it's important to understand what it means. It's a way for Delek US Holdings to get some cash by selling off part of its stake in Delek Logistics. Because Delek US Holdings already controls Delek Logistics, it's like taking money out of one pocket and putting it in another. One possible benefit is that reducing the number of outstanding units for Delek Logistics could make each remaining unit more valuable in the long run. Also, if they use debt to pay for it, it could be a cheap way to use debt. However, it might make investors think that Delek US Holdings doesn't see as much potential for growth in Delek Logistics. Otherwise, why sell those units back? I think it's a financial play with the risk of short-term perception damage. As always, thanks for watching Corporate Decoder. If you found this breakdown helpful, give us a like, leave a comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of corporate filings.